So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Tenconi Tuesdays, where I basically speak about the right-wing political dynamic and people in the UK who are using Jesus of Nazareth to push ridiculous anti-Christian policies. If you don't know, the likes of UKIP, Restore Britain. Yes, we're going to first speak about Connor Tomlinson, because I've heard a lot of people recently say online, oh, Restore Britain, they don't care about race. We just, we care about ancestry, and they play fast and loose with race. 1 second they don't care about race, it's just about being English. But then if you say, well, what is English, and then you get onto race, like, people just run for the hills. It's incredible. Just give this a watch. Again, the Catholic, the self-proclaimed Catholic, believes Jesus of Nazareth is Lord, and watch this.
He also then says there are far too many extremists in Restore to make common cause with. Bear in mind, as somebody pointed out beneath Rupert Lowe's post, Jacob Rees-Mogg gave the same response as Richard Tice to questions about demographics when Stephen Edgington interviewed him a few years ago.
Absolutely shocking. Jacob Rees-Mogg doesn't care about skin colour. If someone's white, black, brown, he doesn't care. What a shocking thing. Absolutely shocking there. I mean, just this, again, like this ridiculous notion of having your identity in things like skin colour. I mean, we're past this. We've had Martin Luther King. We've had the incredible Nelson Mandela. Who cares if somebody's black or white? I mean, come on, mate. This is ridiculous. Jesus, very, very tanned or brown bloke. I don't care if somebody's brown or black. I mean, this is, if people are seriously concerned about black people or something, I mean, and you're a Christian, what book are you reading? Seriously, what book are you reading?
Our demographic change going too far too quickly?
Oh, I'm not concerned about it at all. I'm not concerned about the racial makeup of the country.
I just want to give a bit of nuance. If somebody's concerned about the pace of change, that's one thing. But to think that basically somebody's characteristics is going to deter or determine policy is insane. So when he says he doesn't care about the racial makeup of the UK, I guess Connor would say, well, no, I care about it because I think it should be majority white and there should be, more white people, less black people. If you think that, say it. And what I see a lot of these Restore people do, especially when they go on TV, like Alex Phillips or Talk TV, they'll speak a lot about ancestry and the indigenous British people, but they won't say it. And why do they not say it? One, they know most people don't care about race. They're not, focused on race nonsense. They base people on the content of their character, not the colour of their skin, absolutely woke, I know, crazy stuff. They don't care about ancestry. I guess they would say, well, no, we're not talking about white people. It's just English people from, Wales, Scotland, London just happen to be white. That's what they would say to that. Firstly, one of the earliest people ever in the UK was black. So it's how far back you want to go for ancestry for a start. And second of all, to that, the other talking point they use is they speak about marrying in. So if somebody is English, you should marry into somebody who's English, and then you become English based on that. But again, if you strip it back, it is based on skin colour. It means you could be like half English if you're black and you, I don't know, marry into somebody who's English. But again, the thing to hone in on that is they don't want to say race, they don't want to say skin color because they're scared. And I just find it ironic, all these people online who act all macho and big and like they're the best people ever and they're so tough and don't mess with these blokes, that they don't have the balls to actually say skin color. Isn't it just ironic? All these people who talk all this big game don't actually have the balls to say it. They just dance around the issue when they go on TV. And, if you look at someone like Nick Fuentes, for instance, at least he actually owns it. He's been blacklisted by loads of countries. He's had trouble banking and all that. Fair play to him in the sense that at least he actually says what he thinks. I think what he says is absolutely vile, and I can't stand Nick Fuentes. He's an anti-Semite, racist, Nazi. I don't like Nick Fuentes remotely, but at least he actually owns what he says. A lot of these Restore people, and just to clarify, I'm not calling Connor a Nazi or anything like that, or loads of other Restore people, but if you genuinely care about race, if you care about the racial makeup of Britain, say it. Don't dance around the issue. Don't pretend. Don't talk about Christian values. Don't talk about what it means to be English and all this. Like Christianity, you care about immutable characteristics that people can't choose. You care about things that are just absolutely ridiculous, that is completely against the Bible, completely against Jesus. You care about that. Just say it, all right? And I'm sick to death of just seeing online these people just playing fast and loose with that. Now, Connor actually is more honest, and he actually does say he cares about the racial makeup of the UK. At least he owns it. But there's so many people who just don't own it. Because one, they're uncomfortable because they probably know a little bit that, why, this is a little bit wrong, isn't it? I thought we had passed this. So they like to do the mental gymnastics for themselves to make them feel okay having such vile views. I'm not even a fan of Jacob Rees-Mogg at all, to be honest. I'm really not a fan of him. But you know, he's a Christian bloke, and at least he doesn't care about this nonsense. So I'll give him that.
I am concerned about the borders issue and the number of people coming.
Okay, I'm concerned about the demographic makeup of the country, Jacob, because I've got 2 kids on the way, and unlike you, I can't just retreat to a manor house in a leafy area of Somerset where the diversity hasn't come yet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one, the notion that Connor is somehow underprivileged, like, basically he's got to think about his kids, he's living life on the edge, he's so poor, like, I guarantee he's not going to a food bank. I guarantee he probably lives in quite a nice area of London. I guarantee he's making a good penny, and he's acting like he's he's on the edge or something financially, and he's got kids along the way, and oh my goodness, this elitism about not caring about race. He doesn't understand the truth. He doesn't understand the hard-hitting facts that only real people like us speak about. We're the truth seekers. We say things that are true even if people don't want to hear it, because we're bigger and better than everyone. This is the kind of the perpetual knowledge and the perpetual kind of things that are said. The notion that basically, can I just also make the point, working class people, that they're not behind a lot of this. Like, are there loads of working class communities that are concerned about mass immigration? Yes. Is that justified? 100%. Do most of them care about race? No. Connor is trying to speak on behalf of them when he's clearly a pretty affluent guy, I'm sure. He went to uni. I'm not sure what uni he went to, but like, he's not exactly, representative of these people. So it's like, I don't know what he's talking about here. It is kind of ludicrous. Like, he's got a YouTube channel with tens of thousands of people watching him. I'm sure he's making a decent buck.
Watch Morgoth's latest video. He makes an excellent example. Even our sacred places where we thought they would be naturally dissuaded from coming to, like the countryside, beaches, the peaks and the lakes and the valleys, the diversity will come there anyway. That's just...
It is remarkable that somebody espouses these views while calling himself a Christian. It really is remarkable. Like, where's Jesus in all this? Where's the gospel in all this? Where's the Bible in all this? Where's any biblical reference at all to anything he's saying here? Just jump over it, same with political views, and use it as a nice little shield, Christian values. It really is ludicrous.
It's a relentless demographic march into our sacred spaces, and so they'll come.
Demographic march into our sacred spaces. Yeah, that's the real issues, that's the serious issues, that's what Jesus spoke about. He spoke about, our certain areas being one race and then other races coming and desecrating that. It's absolutely shocking, like, famously, Jesus obviously hung around with the sinners, he had meals with the sinners, and people from the Sanhedrin would come like, what is this man doing? He's hanging out with tax collectors, like women, people from different areas. What is he doing? And then, Connor's like, oh my goodness, there is brown people going to the countryside. This is appalling. My kids cannot just go to some big manor house in the countryside like you, Jacob. We're going to have to go to the countryside on a car that's probably quite good, and we're going to have to interact with brown people.
Come for Somerset eventually. But Jacob Rees-Mogg thinks that he's rich enough.
I love that. Come for Somerset eventually. Like, there's some sort of coordinated underground movement of people who are brown going to the countryside. Mate, you got to touch some grass. Like, what is this absolute dribble?
and privileged enough to be detached from this problem. So demographic concern is not a concern of his. Well, it is for a large share of the British electorate. I think it's 45%.
Right. Oh yeah, because Rupert Lowe, you know, he's very in touch with the people. He went to I think the private school he went to was 150 acres, their playground or whatever. Yeah, he's very in touch with the people. You know, he's what, ex-owner or something of one, you know, a massive football club, multi-millionaire, privately educated. Yeah, he's really in touch with the people, mate. Yeah, he's really, you know, he knows people well. The notion that this is like the bread and butter of England, you know, some affluent men who probably went to private schools, and also, oh, let me just add to that, also funded by the richest man on the planet. But no, they're the bread and butter, ladies and gentlemen, of the British public. Restore Britain, you know, they're one of the people, their leader, the privately educated multi-millionaire, funded by, with their party, funded by the richest person on the planet. Yeah, it's really grassroots stuff, isn't it? It really is incredible stuff.
That Migration Watch polled recently that said they don't want to become a demographic minority in their own country. We've seen how it works in South Africa. We've seen how religious minorities are treated in Lebanon. We don't want that fate for ourselves and our children. Thanks. And
I'm not sure what poll he references there, but can I just say, he's speaking about South Africa. Now, has there been some issues with the reverse happening? Yeah, there has. Does that mean that what Nelson Mandela, I mean, I would be stunned if he doesn't like Nelson Mandela. I mean, even for somebody who's quite pretty right-wing, you know, what Nelson Mandela done was incredible. I mean, that man really is just a beacon of life and determination, and an incredible man. And he seriously is talking about South Africa. Any example you could have used, mate. I really hope he's not, you know, he's one of those people who didn't like Nelson Mandela. I'm sure he did. South Africa, you had to use that as an example. Anywhere you could have used. South Africa of all places. You know, when you had literally black people just being shot on the street, and you're speaking about South Africa demographic replacement the other way round. I mean, mate, come on.
Rupert Lowe responded to Jacob Rees-Mogg saying, "You are prohibited from being part of this unification of the right, conservatism, reform, with fine with me. He's the only man willing to be outside the boundaries of the establishment. He's the only one willing to colour outside the lines that have constrained us and kept us on rails to our demographic, economic, and national obsolescence." And that's why, at the moment, he is inspiring so much confidence that he means what he says, he has the courage of his convictions, and he will keep his word. And so even if Reform and Restore were promising the same policies, they aren't. But even if they were, who do you trust to carry them out?
Well, I mean, for a start, half your spokespeople don't even know what the party's position is. I mean, you have some people say they don't care about race. You've got Connor saying he doesn't like the demographic replacement of, you know, white indigenous British people. I mean, which is it? But at the same time, like, no, we don't care about race. I don't care about race. I do not care about race. I do not care if somebody's black. I don't care. White people, black people, we're all made in the image of God. Do I care about? No. Would Jesus have cared about it? No. Did Jesus care about it? No, he did the absolute inverse. So the Christian perspective is pretty clear. As I always say, do not have your identity in this world. What's Connor saying? I have my identity in this world. But anyway, so we got to do the classic, a bit of fun, bit of Nick Tenconi. You got to love it. So here he is, the Christian muscle, you know, the man himself, Nick Tenconi, marching through the streets, you know, really spreading the gospel of love and positivity and uniting people together despite political differences. The love of Jesus uniting people. Let's see what wisdom Nick Tenconi has here.
Britain, your rules and ways. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves.
Well done, Patriots. We are doing so well. I say send them home. 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 Send them home.
A lot of continuity there with the message, you know, send them home. Incredible stuff. Here we have more of just the intellectual giant Nick Tenconi, again preaching, you know, from the pulpit of love and the gospel. Let's see what he says.
Becomes registered to vote, becomes political, and blocks the Islamic unholy alliance with the Marxists and the liberals. And never forget my point about Marxists. All the liberals subscribe to cultural Marxism, patriots. No economics, cultural problems, cultural differences that we cannot live with, we cannot abide by. Political Christianity must rise.
Again, what is political Christianity? What is his view of what Christianity should be? It's something I don't align with. It's something most priests wouldn't align with, most congregations wouldn't align with, most Christians full stop would not align with. Look, always remember, guys, most people don't care about this stuff. Most people are good people who, you know, generally do love Jesus. They want to help people who are struggling. They don't care about race. They don't care about demographics and all this stuff. Maybe they're concerned about immigration. Maybe they're concerned about economics. Maybe they're concerned about getting a house. You know, fair enough. You know, there's loads of valid concerns people have. Do they care about race? Do they care about... No, they don't. You know, most Christians aren't, you know, regressive with their views. You know, Jesus was a revolutionary guy, and we must never, ever forget who Jesus was. Our Lord, our Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth. But thanks so much for watching. God bless all of you, and God bless Nick Tenconi and Connor. I really hope God moves in their hearts, and hopefully they do kind of see what they're saying is completely against the gospel, completely against what Jesus preached, completely against what it says in the Bible. But yeah, I really hope, you know, Jesus does move in their hearts, and, you know, pray for these guys, because that, you know, Connor Tomlinson, as I always say, he's a very smart bloke. He's just gone down a very weird path with what he thinks. But yeah, God bless all of you. I love every single one of you, even if you hate me and, you know, you're going to vote Restore. I do wish you the best in life, even if we do disagree fundamentally on politics, Jesus, and everything. I still do wish you the best, you know, I really do. But yeah, God bless all of you, and I'll catch you on the next one very soon. Peace.